Hello, my name is Ralph Emery. I think you will enjoy this next hour of television, as we are about to present an in-depth interview with a man who was the Entertainer of the Year in 1969, and later the Country Music Association put him into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1980. He is an international favorite, perhaps the most famous name ever produced by the Nashville music industry, often known as the Man in Black. This is an inside look into the life of Johnny Cash. John, is it difficult for Johnny Cash to keep a secret from the public?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Do you sometimes resent living in a glass house?
No, I don't think I ever have resented it. It's the kind of life I chose and the kind of life I love, the performer, the public life. And sometimes I do get a little impatient when I don't have the privacy that I think I deserve or want at that particular time, but I never try to take that out on anybody else. I learned a lesson in 1974. When John Carter was 4 years old, he was in a Jeep accident. And the Jeep turned over about a block from my house and upside down, and it was on his head. But that Jeep had not, the wheels hadn't stopped turning until the Grand Ole Opry tour bus pulled up at this accident scene. 12 men jumped out and within 30 seconds had that Jeep off of John Carter. And of course that was widely publicized, that accident, but the doctor thought, there'd be all kinds of complications, but 3 days later, John Carter walked out of the hospital. And I don't care how long I've been gone, or how tired I am, or how many people I don't want to see, when I come home and those Grand Ole Opry tour buses are stopped at my gate, it's all right.
How about in a restaurant, John, when you're trying to eat? Is that difficult?
Well, it could be difficult, if I wanted to make it difficult. But, and I've got friends that won't go to restaurants, they say the people won't leave me alone. I had one person tell me that I wanted to go eat somewhere, this entertainer, and he said, well, I don't like to go there. People won't leave me alone. And I said, well, I don't especially care for that part of it myself. I have a fairly high recognition factor myself, I said to him, but I like to go out to eat sometimes, and there's a certain amount of autograph signing, picture taking, and talking to people, meeting people. But then usually when the food comes, they leave me alone.
John, do you ever worry about hurting people's feelings, the people that want an autograph, and in this particular instance, you really don't have time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I worry about hurting their feelings because I remember when I was a boy and a country music show came to my hometown. I still talk about the minute that I spent talking to Charlie and Ira Louvin and Eddie Hill. I still talk about that. It was one of the big moments in my life when I said something to Charlie Louvin, and I think he asked me where the restroom was, and I showed him. And that was really a big deal for me to have that few seconds with Charlie and Ira Louvin. And I think about that quite often, that maybe those people that have come to that show, it might be the only show they've seen this year, and they've never seen me. And it's really important to them that they get to say something or touch or autograph or something. When I come off of that stage, go into my bus, and I try not to run by them all the time, even though the police might be trying to get me out. I try to stop and shake hands and maybe sign a few autographs, and I can't always do it all. And it bothers me that I leave somebody standing there that want it, and I can't do it. Yeah, it bothers me.
John, you used to listen to the Louvin brothers and Eddie Hill on the Memphis radio.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, WMPS?
Right.
I read that in your book. And you mentioned a story about some soda crackers and Charlie Louvin. Would you tell us that story?
Well, that was the conversation I had with Charlie Louvin. I said, he was eating a cracker, and I wanted to talk to him so bad. Ira was at the box office, and Charlie was standing right there by it at the little Dias Theater at the school. And I walked up, and the first thing I said to him was, are crackers good for your voice? 'Cause I wanted to be a singer, you know. I thought, here's a singer eating a cracker. I thought maybe that was his secret. And he said, no, they're good for your belly if you're hungry. So we had a little laugh over that, and then he asked me where the restroom was, and I showed him. Then I stood there by Ira for a while and just watched him. I was kind of afraid I'd say something stupid if I said anything else, so I didn't.
But consequently, didn't you, after that, eat crackers a lot?
I ate them all, every time I get my hands on them. I still eat a lot of crackers.
We will continue our inside look at Johnny Cash, the Man in Black, in just a moment. John, I want to ask you about your operation. I think the world knows that you had bypass surgery some 9 months ago, which would have been when?
Christmas, '88.
You spent Christmas in the hospital?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was not a very Merry Christmas for me. That was when I was getting pneumonia, and that was the rough part. The surgery went fine. You know, I haven't had a pain, excuse me, Mike. I haven't had a pain since the operation, but then I got pneumonia, and that was really hard because they made me cough all the time, you know, to try to clear that up. But, you know, people who know you and love you want to hear about your operation for about 5 minutes, and people who casually know you want to hear about it for about 2 minutes, and people that don't know you don't want to hear about it at all. So are you sure you want to talk about my operation?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Why do you think, or why did your doctors tell you you had to have bypass surgery?
Well, the main artery for my heart was 90% clogged, and I'd been really feeling lousy and having spells where I was weak and fainting and trembling, sweaty, you know. And so I was in Bristol, Tennessee, and Waylon had gone in, had bypass surgery. And I went to see Waylon, and I was sick, standing there waiting to see him, and my doctor said, you need to have arteriogram, angiogram, and so I did. I said, don't you find anything, because I'm going to Jamaica on vacation. Well, after they did that on me, he came back into the room, and he said, now, who do I call to cancel your reservations to Jamaica? I said, that bad, huh? And he said, that bad. So they operated and bypassed that artery, and right now I'm running wide open. I don't have my energy level back 100% yet, but something happens to a person in bypass surgery, Ralph. You see, I talked to my doctor about this about 2 months later, and I'd read Larry King's book. I'd read a lot of things about bypass surgery. And I asked my doctor, I said, when you did bypass surgery on me, you had to stop my heart, right? He said, yeah. And I said, for how long? He said, well, I had your heart stopped about 40 minutes. And the machine was circulating the blood through my body into my brain to keep me alive, but my heart was stopped. And I said, I've had dreams since that surgery that took me to the edge of this life. And I said, what I saw, I don't know, but it was unspeakable. It's not something I could describe in human words. And then I said, it's like when I dream about it, I remember it. And what I am remembering is that day I lay on the operating table, and you had me at the edge. And then what happened is you got through with your surgery and sewed me up, and you brought me back from the edge. I said, and I feel violated. He said, you're not going to sue me, are you? And I said, no, but I feel violated because I saw what people call the light at the end of the tunnel, but it was more than that. It was beautiful. And I didn't want to come back. I'm glad I did, you know. But at the time, I was disappointed.
What do you think you saw?
I don't know. I don't think I'll ever know. But I've talked to other people who've had this same surgery, and they say, hey, I felt that too, you know? Without ever thinking about it, they realized they felt that too. But I think I saw the end of this life, or maybe a glimpse of the other side. I'm not sure. But I don't think it's meant for me to see and know exactly how it is over there yet. But, and I think, like you asked me, did it make me more human to people? And that's why I say it made me more human to me in that I am more conscious and aware of the temporary existence here in the flesh. You know, it's not for long, and it's something that I even laugh about a lot. You know, like they say, did you have bypass surgery? I said, yeah. They chopped me open and jerked that heart out and stomped it flat and killed it for about an hour. You know, and then stuck it back in and pumped it and made it work again. You know, it's almost that happened to me. They took my life away from me and then said, okay, you can have it back now. We're through playing with you. And like I said, I felt violated, but I'm glad to be back.
John, how long ago did you kick the drug habit?
I didn't ever kick the drug habit, and I don't think I ever will. There'll always be that gnawing and craving there for it that passes. It comes by every day and then passes, thank God. The craving goes. We don't say that we're recovered, we're recovering. And
how long does the gnawing sensation last?
Sometimes just a few seconds, sometimes an hour. But we have a program. I have a program. I make a daily commitment to God, and ask him to take away the desire. And for many, many days he's done that. I haven't had a real problem with getting a, you know, I know drug problem, you say drugs, that covers a lot of things. I never did acid, I never did cocaine. But I did all the pills. You know, that was my drug of choice, was
amphetamines.
Amphetamines. You know, you knew me in my prime amphetamine days when I was really crazy and mixing it with brandy and beer and all that. Well, thank God I don't do that. And I haven't had amphetamines now, which I like to say is my drug of choice. I haven't had amphetamines now since 1983.
When were you at Betty Ford?
1983.
Was it for the amphetamines?
Yeah, it was that, and also because of stomach surgery I had, they had me on IV morphine for about 2 weeks, and I had to come off of that. But I'd also been on very strong pain pills and amphetamines and sleeping pills. So you get caught up in it, Ralph. I don't like drugs. I hate drugs. I hate everything about them. I hate everything they ever did to me. I detest them. I despise them. Yet I crave them, you know, and I don't know the answer to that, except to make a daily commitment to stay off of them. You know, today I'm not going to do drugs. Now, I don't know about tomorrow. I'm not going to worry about it, but tomorrow I'm going to make the same commitment that I made this morning to stay off of drugs today.
How do you work your way through that hour when it's tugging at you?
Well, I pray, or I'll talk to somebody that I know is solid, straight, clean. If I'm in trouble sometime, I'll call Waylon, you know, and I don't even have to talk. I say in trouble, if I'm craving or something, or I think I'm going to be tempted when I go see this certain person or do this certain thing, I'll call Waylon or somebody that is recovering too. And I may not even talk about the problem. You know, I might just call him, say, ask him something about his new record, you know, or what's Shooter doing today? You know, get him talking about Shooter or something, get my mind off of it and get it on something good, something positive, something solid.
Our in-depth conversation with Johnny Cash will continue right after this. I'm visiting with Johnny Cash as we attempt to paint a portrait of the man through his own words. John, how did you meet Dr. Billy Graham?